All right, so what I'm about to do right now is get into this video. I was scrolling through my YouTube feed and I found something finally that I think I'll be interested in reacting to. So let's see what that is. All right, let's go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
But I went from having confidence and arrogance to having faith. And faith is the opposite of fear. And that created this fearless approach that I have. I think very three-dimensionally. I don't think in the black and white lines that I've been programmed to think in. And I think in full color. So when I talk, I have to describe a thought in 5 ways. You know, we enjoy food that has multiple seasoning in it. We enjoy music that has multiple instruments.
Listen, I already like the way he's going right now because it makes a lot of sense. You know, we tend to think of certain decisions as black and white. Like he said, like yes or no, this or that, but it's really not that easy. And it makes sense that he's putting it this way because most things in life are multi-layered and complicated. So that's actually a really good point. Let's get to it.
So when I talk, it's not a rant, it's a symphony of ideas. And when you collect them, you say, oh, these are all these things that connect. Yeah, you know, I just tell the truth. And telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies.
That is so true, especially nowadays. It seems like most of America, especially the Western world, just wants to lie to each other and lie to ourselves. You know, have us thinking that certain ideas are supposed to be the norm when for millions of years that was not the case. So when you start telling the truth, it's crazy because it's like being politically correct versus not being politically correct. Politically correct is a term that, you know, is really about masking your true thoughts in nature because it may make some people feel uneasy or uncomfortable. But in reality, there's so many people that have certain thoughts that are true, at least the way that they see it, but they're not allowed to say it because it's going to make the people around them uncomfortable. So when you start telling the truth, it can be scary to a lot of people because the world is full of lies right now.
That's simply it. So now let's take like where there's, you know, people who have, you know, issues with me as Kanye West, or they classify, you know, my motivational speeches as like rants and things like this. Like, why is he saying that? Why is he doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I've reached a point in my life where my Truman Show boat has hit the painting. And I've got to a point that Michael Jackson did not break down. I have reached the glass ceiling. As a creative person, as a celebrity. When I say that, it means I want to do product. I am a product person. Not just clothing, but water bottle design.
Dude, this is so true, and I hate this too. I hate it. When people put you in a box just because you've excelled in one area of life or in business or industry, and they don't think that you could do something else, which is crazy to me because, you know, we're people that do things, different types of things throughout the entire day. Why is it that some people think that you can only excel in one part and not go into other avenues and excel in those parts too? Just because most people don't do it doesn't mean it cannot be done. So, yeah, I like that.
Architecture, everything, you know, that you could, you know, think about. And I've been at it for 10 years. And I look around, I say, wait a second, there's no one around here in this space that looks like me. And if they are, they're quiet as
Facts.
So that means, wait a second. Now we're seriously like in a civil rights movement. Like people used to joke about, do you remember our South Park photo?
Yeah, I do.
Remember how funny that was? Do you think there would be a Givenchy in the hood if it wasn't for that South Park photo?
Yeah.
So
I don't
many
know what
people
they're
are
talking
just
about,
so
but I'm about to look it up.
obvious. They don't even realize that when they box me in or try to verbally put me in some type of box or put Donda in a box, that they're really showing their level of ignorance. They're putting themselves in a box. And, you know, people can write all they want, but what are people doing? And if there's anybody that's out there doing, they know how hard it is to actually do. And I'm like a motivation of the doers. If everything I did failed, which it doesn't, it actually succeeds, but if everything I did failed, just the fact that I'm willing to fail is an inspiration. People are
Facts. So people are so scared. Look at this. I didn't even. Some people are so scared to lose that they don't even try. They don't even try. And you're wondering, like, why did they? I mean, most people don't wonder, but I wonder, and people like Kanye West do wonder, like, why are you already setting yourself back? You're already putting yourself behind when you don't know how good you could be at whatever endeavor that you're trying to get into. People might really actually like what you're doing once you're in it. Like, people gravitate towards you. It's like, you never really know, but you automatically put yourself behind everybody else just because you're too scared to do it. You're too scared to fail. Come on, man. If you failed, you're not gonna get anywhere. But if you don't try, you're definitely not gonna get anywhere. Try it out, man. Try some stuff out, man. Life is too short. You only get one life.
They're so scared to lose that they don't even try. Like, one thing that people can't say is they can't say, I'm not trying. And I'm not trying my hardest, and I'm not trying to do it the best way that I know how with what little information I get.
So when I compare myself to Steve Jobs or Walt Disney, Howard Hughes, David Stern, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Jesus, or whatever it is, I'm saying these are my heroes. These are people that I look up to. This is the type of impact I want to make on the earth. If I can make this type of impact up to this point, what can I do if you call Bob Iger and say, yo, give him a shot? If you call Oprah and say, yo, back this kid. His parents were educators. He wants to educate. He wants to look at curriculums and say, how do we simplify that?
I'm with that 100%. On the curriculums part especially, you know how behind the system is for education? It's like it doesn't take into account the other avenues or the other ways of learning. It's just like there's one specific ways of learning. So it's like the curriculums, while they have information that are good, some students won't be able to take it in the medium that is given to them. So it's like, how do we simplify that? And I would go even further to say, how do we curate that specifically for specific students in their learning ability? And how do we even have those students figure out what their learning style is? So yeah.
Exactly what I did in music, I want to apply to product. I want to apply to education. This is what my company Donda is about. I could rap all I want, but without that Rockefeller chain and Damon giving me that Rockefeller chain and without getting a record deal, I don't care how many beats I sold to whoever, I couldn't have made it to the point to make Jesus Walks. And now, even as a celebrity, blah, 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 I've reached a ceiling. And the way paparazzi talk to me and my family is disrespectful also. You know what I'm saying?
That's
we
so
bring
unfortunate.
something of joy to the world. When people hear my music, they have a good time. And I should be respected as such when I walk down the street. Don't ask me a question about something you saw in the tabloids. Don't try to antagonize me, because you...
That's the one thing about being a celebrity. I always thought, like, I would hate. You know, in a certain sense, music is a way to get away from things, especially if you're a creator, right? And also, it's kind of like your job. So I can't even imagine if I did my regular job, my 9-to-5 day job, and then somebody random that I don't even know comes up to me and then asks me a bunch of questions about my personal life. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with you. Enjoy the stuff that I put out and really respect the fact that I've done it on a high level. Don't come out here and talk to me about what you saw in the newspaper or some headline that you saw on the news or whatnot. Like, be respectful.
You know what? It's not safe for you in this zoo. You know, never think that I'm not from Chicago for 1 second. So as I go through these different levels, there's times where I would use confidence when I knew what I was doing, and I would use arrogance when I didn't know what I was doing. But I'd rather use arrogance than to let someone diminish my idea of myself,
Facts.
because that is what keeps us going. Hope actually keeps us alive. But I went from having...
That's true. And I keep stopping a lot, but hope actually keeps us alive. You know, that's one thing when people go through thoughts of self-deletion. Can't really say the word because it's YouTube, right? Because they've lost hope in life, in themselves, in the people around them. They lost hope. So in their idea, in their brains, they start thinking, is it even worth living? Because they have no hope. So that's very true.
Confidence and arrogance to having faith. And faith is the opposite of fear. And that created this fearless approach that I have. And that's what now has made me the fearless leader that I am, that I've like crystallized into the leader that my mom always knew I would be when kids followed me in preschool, the leader that people saw when we changed the sound of music, the leader when we changed the sneaker industry, the leader in what we're doing with farming and with shelters. You have to move based on opportunity. If you have an opportunity to make a living at exactly what you dream about, you have to pursue that at that time.
That's facts. Some opportunities don't come that often, man. Certain opportunities, like if you don't catch it at that point and you try to do it later, you may still have the desire to do it, but the era for which that passion was very popular or even paid attention to, period, has gone. So when that opportunity comes, you need to grab it. You need to grab it right away. Do not wait. Especially since, on going on another tangent, like life isn't promised. You could literally disappear tomorrow. So grab the opportunity while it presents itself to you.
When it's there. If the opportunity isn't there, just keep educating yourself as much as possible so that when the time comes, you'll be even better at
Proper
that dream that you
preparation
had.
prevents poor performance.
What I keep saying is I don't want to totally touch on this too long because I might start, crying, but I would think that my mom would trade in every single Grammy, BET, every award for her son to have a doctorate, being that she was Dr. West.
Are you a workaholic? Are you always working?
No, I actually slept a lot during the project.
While they were recording?
Yeah, I have a team and we work together. I spent a year and a half after I got out the hospital, and I would go to Amoeba record store and I just start chopping up samples. And it's very therapeutic because I wasn't full yay. I don't know if I'm full yay now, or better or worse, whatever, but it was therapeutic just to listen to those songs and sample and go back to being 14 years old in my mom's house.
I can
And
totally
by the time
feel
it was
that.
time to do to put the albums out, we have a whole team at Yeezy Sound that will help come and do the drums, help with lyrics, help with choruses, and I'd give like 6, 7 people ideas that I want on the song, and I just go to sleep.
We want is a real shot. Not, okay, I'm a celebrity, so that means my line has to cost $10 a t-shirt. No, I understand about quality. I understand about fabrics. I spent 10,000 hours at this. I dedicated my life to this. Then a lot of people say, okay, well, oh, you have to do music.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna keep doing music, but
You
what if
do
people told me I
whatever
couldn't rap?
you
What would have
want.
happened? What if people told me I couldn't perform?
You do whatever you want. You can literally do whatever you want in this life. It's crazy, right? You could do whatever you want. Of course, think about the law. Try to do things within the context of the law, but you could do whatever you want. Okay, don't limit yourself. Do not limit yourself.
I'm only 36 years old. I have other goals and other things, and I'm gonna use my platform, every platform, to stand up and say, I wanna make something. I wanna make the next Ralph Lauren.
Facts.
They say people don't stand up and protect their dreams. People are too scared of getting, spoofed in a way. And the irony of it is so many people that are creatives, think about a creative person in school. When you picture them, you probably picture them all the way in the back of your class, sketching or maybe getting beat up. And I'm the one creative, and this is the
Right there,
reason why
standing.
I went on stage. This is the reason why I did this, because creatives have got beat up my entire life.
Good
And there's
point.
moments
Good
where I
point.
stood up to drug dealers in Chicago and said, you can't have my publishing, come and kill me. Do whatever you're gonna do, but you're not going to bully me. You're not gonna stop me, because my mother made me believe in myself. No matter how many people tell me, stop believing in yourself. Stop saying what you can do. Stop affirming what you're gonna do and then completing that in real life. That's the improper way to do it. I
Facts.
refuse to follow those rules that society has set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem,
Yeah,
with
man.
improper information,
Yup.
with branding,
Yup.
with marketing. I
Yup.
refuse to follow those rules. It's about truth. It's about information. It's about awesomeness. And the
Awesome.
only luxury is time. The time
The only luxury is time. That's one of the age-old sayings, and it's so true. So true. The only luxury that you have is time. You really never get that back. And while time goes, you want to spend it fruitfully. You want to spend it meaningfully, if that's a word. and don't squander it. Don't squander it at all.
You spend with your family. That's the only luxury. To this concept of luxury. And I remember the last thing she said. She said, you know what the problem is with all these students? As soon as they did anything, from when they were really little, their parents clapped. And the point she wanted to make to me,
I already got that.
that she said to me as we were leaving out the hallway of the restaurant the last time I saw her was, don't clap. You have to push them. You have to drive them. I remember the first time when North climbed all the way to the top of the stairs. And I'm trying to say that Kim would have grabbed her by third stair. But she felt like she had to impress me and be more dynamic or hit the highest point that she had ever, had ever hit in her life. And Louise was really hard and, difficult with the students, but I felt like when you like Celine, when you like McQueen, all these things that have inspired us, I'm just talking directly about fashion, it's because there were people that pushed that hard. And, not to defend myself, but just to
You gotta
take this
push it to the
opportunity,
next level.
because I have the mic. It's not someone else's mic. It's my mic. I can talk right now. I feel a
Who the hell is this?
responsibility to push in the world. I feel a responsibility in my position to be like, this is some bullshit.
Yup.
Am
Use
I
your
the only one here
platform.
that's not crazy?
Use your
Am I the only
platform.
one here that's not afraid of losing their Samsung
Get rid of
deal
this.
right now?
Yeah, listen. That was something else, right? It's real. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Don't limit yourself. The biggest advice that I can give you is try not to look at things as though they're set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. Not in life, not in your life especially. Nothing is set in stone. You can make your life whatever it is that you want it to be. The thing is, you have to be willing to do the actions that it takes in order to have the life that you want to have. So I think that was a great video. Good gems said by Kanye West. And I think that a lot of people should take those words and those pieces of advice and apply it to their own lives, just so you make sure that you're living the life that you want to live. All right? I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.